today on my channel, I am going to be talking about what to do when you realize you are in an abusive relationship and some of the signs that you are in an abusive relationship. For me, it doesn't matter if the abuse is mental, physical, or emotional. As soon as you see the first signs, leave that relationship. The earlier you leave that relationship, the better for you. For there is nothing like, I can change them, I can manage, they will change after marriage. There is nothing like that. Stop looking for excuses, because everything you witness before marriage, when you enter marriage, is going to amplify. Especially for us Black people and Africans that don't believe in therapy. It's even worse for us. Usually you see some people that will be like, as long as it's emotional and mental now, it doesn't matter, he's not physical. No, that is even worse. Because that way of thinking can be so detrimental to your health in the long run. There are a lot of people that are going to be like, oh, I can manage. No, you cannot manage toxicity in a very long time. Because if you eventually end up getting married to that person, trust me, you are going to go through hell. Because a lot of people stay there and you get to realize that you're like, oh, it's only mental, it's only emotional, it's not physical. No, you will stay there. You'll be absorbing a lot of negativity, a lot of toxicity. You start having low self-esteem, because the more somebody rains insults on you every day, constantly criticizes you, plays a lot of mind games, is being very manipulative all the time, trust me, with time, you are going to feel defeated. Your self-esteem is going to be shattered. And that is not good for you. Because if you stay there and say, I'm going to manage, guess what's going to happen? Like I said, with time, you yourself, you're going to find yourself becoming very toxic and very negative. So eventually, even if you leave, you will find yourself having a lot of issues in your next relationship. You'll find yourself being so paranoid, being so judgmental. But you know why you're going to be like that? Because of all the traumas you have faced. Because usually when we go through stuff, we're like, you know what? I know how to manage it. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me. But how would you know that it's affecting you? You will not know. The only way you will know the company you have been keeping has been affecting you negatively or positively is when you will exit that particular relationship and get into another one. That is when you are going to find out. And you know, there are different kinds of mental abuse. There are some people that when you date them, they want to cut you off from every family member and friends. That's because they don't want you to have anyone you can confide to, and they don't also want to have people around you that are going to be able to call out their abusive ways towards you. Because you know, there are some relationships sometimes, you know, when you're in love with somebody, you can be so blindsided. You're going to be there, you're going to be like, they love me, we have a way of doing our own things and everything. No, there are some people that you will need to have outsiders around you to be able to rule it out. That is why when an abuser wants to deal with you, the first thing they will do is to make sure that they cut off contact with everybody. You will start seeing yourself running away from friends and running away from family and everything, and they're going to make you feel like, I am all you need. I am all you have. I'm all you need to love, my dear. When you're in a relationship, you are supposed to be equilibrated. Relationship is not everything. Everything is not just about your boyfriend, your husband. No. You're supposed to balance things out. You're supposed to have friends. You're supposed to have your family members coming around because it keeps you sane. You don't want to be dealing with one person for the next 20 years and you have no one else to talk to. You are going to eventually go crazy. No matter how you say, I'm in love with this person is my best friend. No, you need other people to talk to. You need other people to confide in, and you need other eyes to be able to help you rule out some things when you feel like something is wrong. So like I said, the first way of emotional and mental abuse is cutting you off from all your friends and family. And the reason why they do that is because they want everything. They want your whole life to revolve around them. Everything about you should revolve around them. And they do that because they want to be able to manipulate you in a better way. Because they know that if you have eliminated everybody, when they will start traumatizing you, you will have nobody to turn to. And even if you get to realize yourself, because you have pushed away people for a very long time, when you eventually get back to them, nobody's going to listen to you. Nobody's going to give you a listening ear. Nobody's going to care about you. They're going to be like, say you found your man, say you found your woman, you thought like it was the end of the world. My friend, go there and be dealing with your things. That's what they're going to tell you. And you cannot blame them. And another reason why they're going to cut you off from the people that you know it is because they will not want you to have an escape plan and an escape route. Because if you're with somebody and you have your siblings coming around, you have your parents coming around, you have your friends coming around, by the time you even tell them what is going on, some of them must have seen it already. But the only thing is that they didn't voice it out to you. So when you come to them with the issue, they are definitely going to help you find a way out. There are even some friends or some family members that are going to be like, you know what? How about you leave him or her and come and stay at my place for the next 6 months and figure out your life and move on from there. That is what they don't want. They take away everyone from around you because they want to have you in the palm of their hands. They want to have you there to manipulate you and to do you whatever they want to do. And most of those people, at the beginning, they are very kind and they are very sweet. They do that so you put your guards down, but trust me, do not trust a human being, especially when you see that they make it a mission of theirs to cut off everybody around you. Be very careful with that because, like I said, in the long run, you're going to feel like you're going nuts. And another form of emotional and mental abuse is gift bias. There is something about gift bias. I don't know if you have met some people. Every time there is something wrong in the relationship, they buy you something. Here is a gift. Every time they do something wrong, instead of apologizing, no, they just go ahead and buy you a gift and they feel like that gift is going to sweep everything under the rug. If you fall on that kind of man or woman, hey, my dear, run away. Because with time, they will make you end up in a psych ward. You're going to go crazy. Because if you stay there and you tolerate the fact that every time something is wrong, they buy you gifts, my dear, one day there is going to be something he or she is going to do to you. You will not be able to recover from it, or you're going to end up 6 feet below. Let me see the gifts that you're going to be receiving down there. And another reason why I'm saying, when you realize that you're in an abusive relationship, leave the earliest possible because these things too can affect your career. And this is mainly for the men. There are a lot of women that are very pushy. They will keep triggering you, especially on this side of the world. Back home, you can get away with a lot of things. But on this side of the world, there are a lot of women that they can trigger you. They'll keep poking and poking and poking and poking and poking. And one day you will just hit somebody. Or maybe one day you find yourself screaming hysterically and everything. And you know, the way our houses are built here, the walls are very thin. The houses are very close to each other. Your neighbor is going to hear you screaming in a certain way, maybe saying some things that you didn't mean because out of anger. Your neighbor is going to call the police and be like, hey, I heard him saying that I'm going to kill her. I heard him saying that I'm going to strangle her. Especially for us Africans and black people at times, you know, our vocabulary sometimes, it can be very limited. When you're angry with somebody, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to strangle you, I'm going to do this. You'll be saying those things. Your neighbor is going to be there peeping, listening to everything. And that is how things are going to be messed up for you. Like I said, there are some women that they will push you and push you and push you, no matter how disciplined you are. One day you end up laying your hands on them. And that is going to be the end of your career because of criminal record. Another form of mental abuse and emotional abuse is this. They never take accountability for anything. You're with somebody that every mistake they make is your fault. They can never apologize. If they cheat on you, it's because you're not make-upping enough. You are not in shape. You are not dressing well. You are not showering enough. It's never their fault. When somebody is like that, that is abuse. If you marry that person, hey God, you don't know what is waiting for you. The least thing you want from your partner is for them to be able to say sorry. A person that doesn't know how to say sorry and take accountability for what they have done, stay away from that person. I don't care how the D game is good, how much money they have, stay away from that person. Like I said, anything that you see prior to marriage is going to get worse after marriage. And you don't want to find yourself spending 40 to 50 years with somebody that has these qualities. Because trust me, it's going to be very draining. Especially when you're experiencing this thing that they call see finish. When you have already passed all the exciting stages of your life, all the dating phase, all the courting phase, the engagement stage and everything. When you enter the real deal now, my dear, all those things that you were saying I can manage, you're going to find out how toxic and how those things can go so deep that it can damage a lot of things in you, even health-wise. Another form of mental abuse is this. You know, there are some men, because this mainly happens with men, There are some men that whenever you see them with their women, you can sense that the woman is not being herself. When the man is alone with you guys, he seems like a cool guy, like he's very chill, like he's open to everything. But when you finally get to meet them with their woman, you can sense that the lady has no say. When she's with you guys, either she's always quiet, she's always like, I agree with everything that he's saying. She never has a mind of her own. Or sometimes, maybe out of excitement, we're having a conversation or we're having a debate, and she finds herself maybe like freeing herself, speaking her mind. You are going to see that man from his eyes. The eye contact he's going to give her. Some of them, they give that look like you. So you're the one talking like that. That talking that you're talking. You know what is waiting for you at home. There are a lot of people that are seen like that. And this behavior is mainly displayed by men. And when I see those things, I'm like, eh? My sister, if you have a man like that doesn't let you be yourself, every time you step out with him, you feel like you're always walking on eggshells. You cannot express yourself. You cannot speak your mind. You cannot be yourself in general. My sister, run. And another form of mental abuse and emotional abuse is this thing that they call silent treatment. There are some people that cannot take corrections. Any little correction, result, silent treatment. Any small thing, silent treatment. You're not always going to be gullible, things are not always going to be jolly and everything. Most of them, they do this because they enjoy torturing you. They know that when they're not talking to you, you are going to be worried about them, which I find very, very, very childish. For me, anyone that I have in my life, and every time we have something going on, silent treatment, I'm going to get rid of you. The only way I can understand silent treatment is if I've been telling you about something over and over again, that this thing that you're doing, I don't like it, and you keep doing it. When you will now see me giving you silent treatment, just know that I'm on my way out because I am tired of talking to you. I have reached the height of what I could tolerate, and that is it. That is the reason why I'm no longer talking. But there are some people that every little thing, something happens now, I'm not eating your food. When you call them, they are not picking up. When they go out, they don't tell you where they are going. When they stay out late, they don't tell you that they're staying out late. They're just always grumpy. You are in the living room, they're in the bedroom. That is how no more sexual intercourse, just because you had a little argument in the afternoon. My dear, that kind of relationship is very toxic. I don't want to be part of it. Because for how long are we going to be doing that? That's very childish. There is communication. Communication is everything. Unless it's a really, really bad situation, I can understand silent treatment. But if it's something like us fighting over the fact that you never do dishes or you never do the garbage, or maybe just something normal, maybe you have some traits that you have, like maybe like being too forgetful and everything, being too scattered and messy and all that stuff, then we fight about it. And because of that little fight now, we can't sit down and communicate. You start telling me how no more sex, you're not eating my food, and when you go out, I call you, you don't pick up, when you're home late, you don't tell me and everything. Those kind of things, I don't have time for that. I can't spend the next 40 years of my life dealing with such a childish person. No, I ain't got time for that, man. That is too toxic. And another form of abuse is hidden cameras in the home and phone hackers. Unless, let me say, there's a lot of physical abuse in the house, then I can set cameras for you to be able to trap you, to show the police. If you could have a partner that has cameras on anytime you're around, if you can have a partner that installs cameras without being aware, and you also have somebody that is hacking into your cell phone, my dear, you cannot trust that person. Because trust me, a lot of people do those things because they want to look for sources so that tomorrow, if you decide to leave them, they will use it against you to blackmail you. Some people are even psycho to the point that they will use those things just to force you to stay in that relationship. That is why you see some people saying, if you leave me, I have sources on you. I'm going to expose your nudes. I'm going to do this. You see some people stay in relationship, enter marriages because somebody has files on them. That is why I say, if you have somebody that has cameras on around when you are unaware and you get to realize that they have been hacking your phone, don't say, no, they are just extremely possessive and jealous, their self-esteem is low, and you let it go. No, leave that person. Somebody putting cameras in your home for whatever reasons and does not let you know. Somebody hacking your phone, they are up to no good, and you cannot trust that kind of person. So that is what I have to say about finding yourself in an abusive relationship. Leave as early as possible, because the longer you stay there, believe me or not, that thing is going to have a huge negative impact on you. And I am so serious about this thing to the point that I do not care if you are engaged to this person. It doesn't matter to me. As soon as you see some of these tendencies, leave. Yes, I know there are some things that can be worked on because we all have different backgrounds and some people that have gone through some traumas and everything. And sometimes you can help them work on it. But like I said, especially for Black people and African people, we don't believe in therapy. So I'm not even going to waste my time try to convince you to go for therapy. When I see these things, I'm going to leave you. It's mainly white people that when you see these things, you can be like, okay, if they tell you that I'm very sorry, can we work on it? And you refer them to a therapist, they're going to make sure they attend it and they'll try to make a change that you can work on things. And if you say they don't change, then you know that, okay, that's just the way they are and they're set in their ways, then you leave. But for most Black people and African people, they'll keep saying, hey, I'm very sorry, I love you, buy you gifts, and keep giving you excuses like, you know, I went to when I was young, you know, I was traumatized when I was young. But for how long is that person going to keep being the victim? Sometimes in life, you just have to say, you know what, I'm an adult now. The past is the past. And I am who I am today. And I want to be a better person and stop making excuses. So like I said, if you sense or you see some of these signs, just know that you are in an abusive relationship and find your way out of it. Because at times, some of you are going to say, you know what, I will manage it. But eventually at some point you want to leave. But now when you get to leave, a lot of things, that sweet person, that sweet soul that you were, has been affected. And you find yourself now, you're going to find people that genuinely care and love you. But now you have been too hurt to the point that you are not able to trust again. That is why I said, the earlier you leave, the better. Because just as fruit, I don't know if you notice, when you see a fruit, when it starts getting rotten, you can still cut the rotten part out and still eat the fruit. But when you let the fruit sit there, it's going to keep getting rotten and rotten and rotten, and it's going to get to a stage where it cannot be saved, and it's going to end up going to the garbage. You don't want to end up being like that. And you are never too old to start over. You're going to have some people that are going to tell you the clock is ticking. So you find yourself getting married to somebody who's abusing you just because you say, my clock is ticking. You see some people telling you, when are you going to have kids? You find yourself getting married to somebody out of pressure. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you're just dating them, if you are engaged, my dear. If you see these traits, leave. Because a relationship is supposed to be companionship, friendship. You guys are supposed to be friends, lovers. You're supposed to care for each other. You are supposed to balance each other out. You're supposed to understand that you are not only going to have each other. You need the outside world to make things work for you guys. It can't be always me and you. We have a very long journey to go through. There are some days that you guys are not going to see life the same way. And it's those outside voices, those people outside that are going to help you come back together. Those people outside spice up your life. So if you see somebody that's trying to restrict you from having people around you, run. So if you liked today's topic, thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and let me know down below what you think about abuse. On that note, see you next time. Bye guys.